Hello everybody, welcome back to Mojo Grip. Mike here. Have you ever wanted to fly your own jet? Well, that makes two of us. But here's the thing, flying a jet is not cheap. As a matter of fact, owning and operating a jet is far more expensive than most people think. That's partly because there are certain requirements for the pilot and for the aircraft in order to operate a jet, and whether that be a light jet or a mid-sized jet. In this video, we're going to check out alternatives to a jet. These are turbine-powered airplanes that can fly just as fast as some light jets, and you get more practicality out of them. Also, did I mention, it will cost you half the price to operate these things than a jet. Since we've covered a list of turboprops on the channel before, some new players have entered the market, and we're going to add those players now to the list. Without further ado, the first airplane we're checking out today is the JMB Evolution. The Lancer Evolution is getting a new awakening from JMB. This is one of the fastest experimental airplanes that you can build. And no, it is no ordinary airplane. As a matter of fact, this plane is faster than most single-engine airplanes ever. The Evolution turbine will use a Pratt & Whitney 750 horsepower engine, and at that, you are climbing at 4,000 feet a minute. This airplane is a legitimate 300 knots airplane. You get it up to 25,000 or 28,000 feet, and you're cruising at a respectable 300 knots. But that's not the best part of the Evolution. This plane will carry more, and you're sipping less fuel per hour. Unlike all the other turboprops in the market, the Evolution will only burn 36 gallons of fuel per hour. This is the lowest of all turbine-powered airplanes on the list. A full-tank airplane will still leave you with over 800 pounds of useful load. That means you can carry 4 grown adults in this airplane, and you can travel over 1,000 miles. Did I mention the Evolution also comes with a parachute? Standard. So whether you've been dreaming of flying your own jet, or you're actually in the market to buy one, I would take a hard look at the Lancer Evolution. This is a complete package with a pressurized cabin, and a brand new one will cost you roughly $1.7 to $1.8 million. Next, we have the Piper M700 Fury, the newest line of products from Piper Aircraft. The new M700 is a remix between the Meridian and the lines from M series. What Piper did with this new bird though is they made it faster and a lot more expensive. But before we get to the price, let's talk about the capabilities of the new M700. Compared to its predecessor, the M600, the M700 will go 300 knots. That's right, Piper now officially has a turboprop airplane that will cross the 300 knots mark. This new plane will climb at 3,400 feet a minute, and you can fly up to 30,000 feet. What's really new about the M700 is the power plant. You now have a Pratt & Whitney PT6-52 engine. This gives you 100 more horsepower, but you can go 50 knots faster. But as I said, the new engine also makes the airplane more heavy. So unfortunately, you do lose some useful loads, about 200 pounds with the M700. The M700 can carry up to 6 people with baggage, and you can travel up to 1,800 nautical miles. Like many other GA airplanes, you do have to play Tetris between fuel and load, because once the tanks are all filled up in this plane, you would only have about 450 pounds of people and baggage to put in the aircraft. But really, what's the fuss? Research have actually shown that these planes are generally flown by just one pilot. So if you're going to be jetting around in your own personal airplane, perhaps the payload is not a factor. While you can be very happy with the new M700, all these new increased performance will cost you roughly $4.2 million. Next, we have the TBM 960 from Daher. TBM has long been known as the fastest turboprop ever built, and for over a decade, it's held onto that title. Until now, the 960 is a plane that demands your respect because the performance in this plane is nothing to sneeze at. First, let's look at the capabilities. This plane will carry up to 6 people. You have a maximum payload of 1,446 pounds. That means even with full fuel, you can still load up the TBM 960. The TBM 960 also uses a Pratt & Whitney turboprop engine, except you have 850 horsepower. That will propel this airplane to cruise at a nice 330 knots at altitude, and you have a flight ceiling of 31,000 feet. To make the maximum range of over 1,700 nautical miles, you'd have to dial down that power to only travel about 250 knots in the TBM. But what's most impressive about the TBM 960 is the short takeoff and landing capabilities in this aircraft. You've got a short runway, no problem. With features like beta, which practically reverses your airplane, the TBM 960 almost sits in its own class. And for that, you are going to spend a pretty penny, because a brand new TBM 960 will run you about $5 million. Next, we have the Epic E1000, the newest entrant into the market behind the M7 series. Epic aircraft have such a beautiful story because this is an airplane that started as an experimental aircraft. And over the years, they worked hard to get this beautiful bird certified. And that it is. The Epic E1000 is also a 6-person airplane, and you only need one pilot to fly it. What it boasts more than its rivals is the power plant. Also a Pratt & Whitney, but a PT6A-67A. And this engine makes the Epic E1000 the fastest turboprop in its class at 333 knots. You have a climb speed of 4,000 feet a minute, and that will get you quickly to 34,000 feet, which is the max ceiling for this airplane. What's more impressive about the E1000 is the fuel burn. Even though you have a bigger engine, at 300 knots or more, you're only burning 50 gallons an hour. That's 10 gallons an hour less than the TBM 960. With full tanks, the E1000 still has a payload of 1,100 pounds. That will carry 4 adults and some baggage comfortably. And you also have a long range of 1,560 nautical miles. Whether you want one now or later, the Epic E1000 will run you about $4.5 million. And we've saved the best for last. The last turboprop airplane we're checking out today is the Pilatus PC2 NGX. Crowned as the best turboprop ever built, the PC2 still holds its weight in gold. What sets the PC2 apart from the other turboprops is the fact that you can carry more. This plane was built to carry more. That's why you have the big giant door in the back, and in the PC2 you have seating up to 10 people. Consider it your own mini airliner, but for that amount of weight you also pay for it in speed. The PC2 is the slowest of its bunch, and not by a long shot, because this airplane will still cruise at 290 knots as the maximum cruise speed, and you have a range of 1,803 nautical miles. In terms of capabilities, the PC2 is second to none. With amazing short takeoff and landing capabilities, this airplane will land at just about anywhere in the world. And as fast as you're flying the PC2, you also have a nice stall speed at only 67 knots. Where the PC2 falls short is in speed and also the climb rate, because you're climbing at less than 2,000 feet a minute in this airplane. Whether it's the slowest or the more capable airplane, the PC2 just happens to be a favorite among pilots. And this airplane also holds its value more than any of the other aircraft listed. To get your hands on one today, first you'd have to look hard, but you'd be spending between $5 and $7 million for a Pilatus PC2. Well, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Thanks so much for watching. If this is your first time, make sure you hit that subscribe button for me with the notification bell on, and also give this video a thumbs up. Guys, a great way to support Mojo Grip is by becoming a paid member. You not only get an early start to all the videos that are dropping, but you also get to see exclusive content and behind the scenes content. Check out our membership program here on YouTube, on Facebook, or just go to mojogrip.net and sign up there. Again, my name is Mike. Thanks so much for spending time with me, and I will catch you on the next video.